Can you look at the flowers? I know they're all the way over there. And smile. I feel like I'm telling a love story here.
Lizzie Moore has captured thousands of images. None quite like these.
About a month ago, Ellen emailed me about wanting to take photos for her family and her journey with cancer. Really beautiful. So I thought about it for a little bit and I cried about it for a little bit.
I just wasn't feeling well.
In 2012, doctors diagnosed Ellen Kurtz with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Over the next 3.5 years, she tried chemo, radiation, and a stem cell transplant. The cancer came back.
I'm reaching a point where we don't know what the future holds.
Wearing the white dress she thought she'd save for her wedding, these pictures are how Ellen wants to be remembered.
And I want them to especially be pictures that capture who I am and joyful pictures that capture the fact that I don't fear death.
She wants people to remember her in the happiest way possible.
Ellen hopes to inspire others to not give up.
Beautiful.
And focus on what matters most.
I have God, and I know that I'm not alone to go through this. I've never been alone. I never will be.
Ann Shannon, News 8.
When Gary Weber needs to get away
and come back,
he escapes to his back porch.
Just about every night.
Except on Monday night, he could not escape all the action.
I'm talking and all of a sudden I see something moving.
Near the wood line of his backyard of Fayette Road.
See that apple tree right there? To your right.
He swore he saw a person.
The first time, I didn't really think, I was almost ready to brush it away. The second time, then I knew this can't be brushed away.
He immediately thought the distant figure standing vertical and moving at a normal pace could be either Richard Matt or David Sweat, or both. Convicted murderers and prison escapees, possibly a few hundred feet from him.
Yeah, I took a blood pressure pill.
He says he called 911 and tried his best to calm down long enough.
It's not that far.
To give the trooper a good description of what he saw.
Right up here.
He showed us where more than a handful of investigators combed through his backyard with flashlights and bloodhounds. They showed him pictures of the escapees, but he could not positively confirm his own sighting.
You couldn't make out a face, you couldn't make out clothes.
So with police searching his backyard for two of the most wanted men in America, he and his wife got out of the way.
Well, we locked everything up, made sure we had our guns, and watched.
For millions of Pennsylvania drivers, a driver's license is something they may take for granted.
Good afternoon, License Restoration.
I help people who have driver's license problems throughout the state of Pennsylvania.
But every day, Vince DeAngelis deals with drivers who have realized the value of their license the hard way.
Loss of license is crippling in most cases.
No question about it. Many drivers deserve to lose their license for offenses like DUI or reckless driving. But there are a number of ways you can lose your license for non-driving offenses. In 2014, for example, more than 60,000 Pennsylvania drivers lost their licenses for non-driving offenses such as truancy, non-payment of fines, lack of insurance, and failure to pay child support.
Denying that privilege to drive only causes more problems.
Without a license, DeAngelis asks, how is someone supposed to work and pay their fines?
It's a financial issue. It's a financial detriment that only is intensified or amplified by the fact that now you can't drive, you lose your job, less money, less chance of you getting back on the straight and narrow.
DeAngelis calls this the suspension snowball, and he's not alone in questioning the effectiveness of non-driving license suspensions. This 2013 study examined non-driving suspensions in 8 states, including Pennsylvania. It raised concerns that police and motor vehicle officials spend too much time and money dealing with license suspensions that have nothing to do with safe driving. In some cases, it's possible for a driver with a DUI-related offense to get a limited license that allows them to get back and forth to work, but a non-driving violator can't get that same license.
Certain offenses need to have access to the occupational limited license.
But until that happens, the suspended drivers will see nothing but red lights.
Out in the open, New York State Police troopers, rangers, and others methodically swept through Malone, a town of 6,000 people not normally on anyone's radar, until today.
Didn't think that this manhunt was going to get this close to home.
Police fanned out across the streets and searched house by house, looking for any signs or any clues as to where prison escapees Richard Matt and David Sweat could be, now in their 19th day on the run.
They went through all this.
Nancy Cosgrove got an automated call from police this morning warning she'd likely see activity in her neighborhood. But she was not expecting this.
That's when it's pretty scary, when they start pulling out the guns.
Police said no tip in particular led them to Malone, but in a way, neighbors were glad to see them.
It makes you feel a little better, but still, you know, they're right in our backyard.